everyone, welcome to the Danger Club pod. No, I'm not going to say that because it's Danger Recall. It's not the Danger Club podcast. What are you talking about? But it is the show where we talk about that show. Yeah, the old news show. This is Danger Recall. I'm Colin Hubbard. I am your host for today. Today we're going to talk about Danger Club podcast episode 29. And I've got some guests with me today. I've got Dan Thompson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Colin's show.
It's not really my show, it's everyone's show. It's your show as well, Dan. One day you might host it. Who knows?
Oh my God, Colin,
I nearly couldn't be here today, so yeah, I know. It could be any one of you. It could be, though. It could be Ross Armston.
No, mate, I'm busy, busy, always busy.
Mate, you'd make a good host. What's wrong with you? How you doing, Ross?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm in my sound booth, just chilling, you know.
Well, you say sound booth, you mean cupboard.
Listen,
in your cupboard.
It's a sound booth to me, yeah? Alright? And I've got Scott Besgrove as well. What are you saying, Scott?
What ho, knaves. And this show, you're right, Colin, this show doesn't belong to any single one of us. It belongs to us all. It belongs to the communist state.
Yeah. One day you might say, hello, Neves. You know, just to all the Neves out there, maybe.
What, if I'm talking to specifically some girls from a part of Ireland?
Yeah, just only people called Neve.
I thought you were going to do loads of Shakespeare insults every week now instead.
What you got for us this week, Ross?
I'm just looking at top 155 Shakespearean insults.
155?
Away, you starveling, you elf skin, you dried neat's tongue, balls pizzle, you stockfish. Yeah.
Wow.
Balls pizzle.
I quite like stockfish. It's good for if you're making lots of Thai food.
I like that. You're not even a specific fish. You're just like a Getty Images, just grab out of knowing when you need a generic fish.
Yeah.
My goodness. This is a good... We're getting further and further away from talking about episodes on this show, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We really are. I'm still thinking about that song Voodoo Child. It's not by Holly Valance. I've just realised. I know who it's
You've
not.
been thinking about this all week.
I know.
It's a bit of a dance banger, that one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's Rough Traders.
It's Rough Traders,
right.
yeah, and it's featuring the singer, right, is... we can't play it because we'll get, sued. That's an advert.
You could play 10 seconds of it, couldn't you?
I'm sure it's like a star, like a neighbour's star. We'll work it out. We'll come back to you next week because I know you're dying to hear that, Dangerlings.
This is an ongoing thing for the patrons.
Did Rough Traders also do na feeling so fly like a G6 that got turned into a popular D&D song by swapping the G6 to a D6?
I've
never heard of
the D&D version of that. I've never heard the real version.
It's just na feeling so fly roll a D6, and then they've changed some of the words to fit in with D&D. It's great. It's worth finding that one. I really like it.
What is a G6? Is it like is it like the G7 but with another country kicked out of it?
I don't know. I assumed I might have even got it wrong, but I think the G6 is a reference to some kind of private jet. Hence why they're feeling so fly. Right. It might be a G6 or it might be something else.
Isn't it Gangster 6?
No, because then they're not flying, are they? Do gangsters fly, Ross? All right, the Peaky Blinders, off we go, lads, into the air!
I'm feeling fly like a group of 6 gangsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still looking it up. Colin's still looking at it. He wants to find me.
That's why you're here, because I'm...
on the summary.
The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, go on, give us a summary. Let's do that. And I can keep looking.
This is in my ongoing friend style that I'm going to keep forcing. This is the one where we sneak about with Chappie LaRoux, who tastes his own hubris, featuring zombies.
Nice. That's nice, yeah. Nice. All right, I'll get back to presenting the show because I can't look up who this person is. It's so silly. All right, listen, right? Shania's intro, right, is brilliant. Stop Getting Shot. And we all start singing that song, which is by Oxide Neutrino, but it's actually a sample from the film Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, where there's like a shootout scene, everyone's getting shot, and it's like, I've been shot. Can you stop getting shot? And then they sampled that on a UK garage song, which I can't. It uses the Casualty theme tune. Casualty is a show in the UK about a hospital, and it's a really good UK. It's a banger, man. It's a good tune.
They do reference that scene in Lock, Stock. It's played for comic effect, like many scenes in Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, because at that point they're trying to besiege a house that has a safety cage and a rich boy with a powerful BB gun who is repeatedly shooting them in the legs.
That's correct.
Which is why he gets the funny throwaway line of "Can everyone stop getting shot?"
That's a very.
They're not actually getting shot by bullets, are
no,
they?
they do promptly later on. Yeah, that happens, but at the start it's just a BB gun.
That's a very D&D like sequence, isn't it? Where you've set a trap that you expected the players to like blitz through and then get shot afterwards, and then you realise there's this little middle ground where they can still get shot at, but they might not have worked the trap out, and they're all just sort of stuck there with you being like, yeah, you take 1 point of damage, I guess. How'd you get through it? Like, it's very that kind of situation.
Yeah.
It's quite dark, that scene as well, isn't it? To get past the cage, he sort of picks up the guy's leg that's fainted and says, right, I'm going to blow off his toes, then I'm going to blow off his knee, then I'm going to blow off his leg, unless you come down here and let me in. So he blows the geezer's toes off, and he's fainted, so he doesn't actually wake up or anything.
The TTRPG qualities of the Lock, Stock, you've got me thinking now. I'm like, who would have done that? Like Lock, Stock, Guy Ritchie films as a TTRPG. I can tell you, I think it was Grant Howitt who's done a one page called Jason Statham's Big Vacation. Where you have to make sure that Jason Statham has a nice holiday, and inevitably he ends up like blowing up cars and like punching Nazis and stuff. Like they all just turn up to ruin his holiday, and you as a team have to make sure that the States has a nice holiday.
Wonderful.
Awesome. That's so good. We've all got Ross and Dan have both got colds in this episode.
Yeah, we're proper croaky, aren't we?
We wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have that now, would we? We wouldn't enter a studio with everyone sniffing. No way, mate.
I have written down actually. Remember when a cold was just a cold?
Yep. Yeah. Now, good question. Who's had a cold in the last year?
None of us. In it.
Well, no one's had a cold.
I had cold symptoms after I had my vaccination, and then like I got ill for a day after that because you have the side effects from that. But that's like, I think that was about the first time, because we've all been that careful because the stakes are so high that we just avoided everything.
We're not out there. We're not shaking hands. We're sanitizing. People are washing their hands, which we know for a fact as men that a lot of men don't do that, do they? They walk into the toilet. They urinate, they touch their penises, they don't even look at a tap, they scratch their ass, they get their phone out, they drop it in the urinal, they pick it back up and stick it in their pockets, and they don't even wash their hands, right? And then they go out there and they stick their fingers in the nuts on the bar. It's disgusting, mate. Don't trust men. They don't wash their hands, and they should.
The previous year has just made me want to go drinking in pubs with you guys, and that has firmly put me right back in the no camp again. Thank you very much. I am good. I'm going to stay at home with a whiskey and a computer game.
I've seen people go into the cubicle. Do you know what I mean? And men don't really use the cubicle. A lot of them don't anyway. They go into the cubicle. They lock the door, so they're obviously doing something else. Now, they could be taking drugs, they could be taking a shit, but they come out and they don't wash their hands. Don't trust them. Don't trust them.
We found your hill to die on, haven't we, Cole? This is...
Yeah, man. I get so wound up about people not washing their hands, man.
You said penises with the passion of a Christian coalition trying to get a film banned.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not against penises. I'm just against people touching them and then shaking my fucking hand. You know what I mean?
We got here. We got to the point where we're having to defend penises.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, listen. I think if anything's come out of the lockdown is that people are washing their hands. So well done, everyone. Thank you.
None of us have gotten colds, and I don't know about you guys. I very, very irregularly get ill anyway. Like it happens that I get a cold once every 2 years, and then I'll get like a super flu, like I did that one Christmas, which took me literally out of action for a week. That probably wasn't COVID, because I think it was. Yeah. No, that was a whole year before that happened, so that couldn't have been COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get
patient zero. Scott's patient zero.
It was a year ago. I wasn't in. Just shut your mouth, all right? I got that.
You did go to Thailand.
I went to Malaysia, all right, and I had a nice time. COVID was already happening in China by the time I went to Malaysia. And when I came back from the day that I came back from Malaysia, there were more cases in the UK than there were in Malaysia. So it was
Malaysia.
your guys' fault. Eat a dick, you virologist.
But only if you've washed your hands. Yeah. All right. So toilets, brilliant. We've done that. Great. We also talk about the view in my old house. Do you remember that? Oh, when we used to record my old gaff.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a nice view, wasn't it?
Got a picture of that somewhere on my phone.
Yeah. I think there's a nice picture of all of us up there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's a lovely one. I'm quite glad you moved because I nearly bought artisan bread and cheeses and things every time I came to record at that place because you had so many nice little shops around. Like Greenwich Market is a dangerous place if you have money in your pocket.
Just that road going up to my house, there's 3 pubs. There was, as you say, a cheese shop. There was a really nice butcher's. There was a veg shop, which the bit outside with the time they took to present their vegetables, it just looked amazing. And you couldn't walk past there without going, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to buy some kumquats or whatever.
Fair play.
Yeah, there you go. That was the best one I could have picked out of the air there, couldn't it? Really?
That's got to be a highlight for this show. Little soundbite.
Yeah,
they sound great, don't they? They sound great.
They do.
Yeah, I'm glad. Obviously, cheese is banging, but I'm glad we don't buy artisanal cheese and stuff because when recording stuff, guys, dairy phlegm is a thing. Okay,
yeah, it is.
Try to avoid dairy when you're doing voice stuff because it gives you excess phlegm for no reason. Stay away from it, even though cheese is amazing.
Although, in saying that, I think I might have mentioned this before. My partner is a voice teacher, big up, and they'll tell you that actually it depends on your DNA. So some people can eat cheese and drink milk and things and it won't affect them. But there's a higher percentage of people that will get it.
Now, that's interesting. Where's the test centre for that?
Where can you go
specifically?
Hello, welcome to the cheese test. If you could just eat this cheese.
Yeah.
And
do scales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we preempt the Disney Shania backstory in this episode. We sort of joke about it, saying that Shania is like a Disney princess. That's really interesting, isn't it?
I think Drummond privately told us he was a Disney princess.
This is a spoiler. Sorry, I have to say this. This is a spoiler. If you haven't listened to the backstory, if you don't want to listen to this, skip ahead a minute. All right, let's talk about it.
We got to talk about it in a minute. Okay, go.
Yeah, we got 1 minute. Off we go. I'll let you know when it's a minute.
Oh, God.
Drum is a parent. He watches loads of Disney movies. He watched them before. He really likes princesses. He wanted his character to have a kind of a princess theme. It got mentioned here. We explore it a bit later on. You're back in the game.
All right, we've got 45 seconds.
Oh,
what should we talk about?
I had a cheese.
What should we talk about all the other spoilers?
yeah, just get them out quick. No, I'm sure they'll work it out. Well done, Dangerlings, if you're rejoining us. We went from Michael Jackson songs to Shania Twain songs in the blink of an eye. Scott, you're doing another one of your improvising of songs. It's really good, actually. And you transition from, I think, Billie Jean to a Shania Twain song, and I'm not sure.
I can't. Thank you, Colin. I don't think I can take credit for all of it, because I did start off with the Michael Jackson song, but I think someone else moved it along to the Shania Twain. Because it's someone. I remember thinking that. I remember thinking, that's a good transition because obviously Shania Rain.
Sure.
So I think that was someone else who did that. But I didn't. It's so weird doing this because when I just come up with that stuff in the episode, I never think that we'll be sat around talking about it afterwards. And I'm breaking it down. It makes me really worried in future what I'm going to come up with.
So why did you use this line, Scott?
Specifically, and now a couple of years have passed. How do you feel about that?
Imagine if you had to do that in an audition. Imagine you do your improv piece and then they sit down and like, right, what did you mean by that? And you have to go to the side.
Yeah, right, yeah. I mean, realistically, this is a weird show, man. The people who improvise a show talk about that show. So we're very aware how strange this is, Dangerlings. Let us know on the Discord how strange you think it is. And then we'll stop doing it, or we'll carry on. Who knows? Anyway, we're talking about badger sex.
Segue.
Yeah, it's a good segue. Like Velda's like, oh, I see you've got a badger to Chappie, and he's like, badger sex, huh?
That was a wonderfully satisfying scene. That was like, I didn't know I needed that Velda put down in my life until it happened. That's excellent. I could replay that 40-second segment.
He's such a delight as an NPC, because I think everyone got it quite quickly that basically, like, every conversation with Chappie is a trap. But all of you want each other to fall into the traps, and all of you kind of want to get caught in a trap yourself. And so everyone is just like daring each other to go on the danger swing and just try and talk to Chappie and see what happens. And it's just really fun.
We reference Bodger and Badger in this, which is really interesting because we reference Bodger and Badger in, I think, last week's episode of the Danger Club podcast, or the week before.
Yeah,
I know because actually it's about 4 weeks ago now because we're recording this in the future. But my friend Lou from Canada, big up Lou if you're listening. I don't know if you listen to these, but Lou, she messaged me the other day and said I'd forgotten about Bodger and Badger because she grew up in the UK. Weird that we just go through the same stuff, don't we?
It's weird. I mean, we all are of a generation, so we would have gotten that, I think. But it was a fun bit to go through and take a little journey down that thing. Just because obviously the setting is like getting darker, and Chappie's like so over serious and stuff like that. So to have this sort of Bodger and Badger thing come out in the middle is wonderful. Because Bodger, remember like Mashed Potato? He just smashed through. It was just a lot of TV studio thing with a puppet just throwing lots of mashed potato around the studio. Man,
it was just a children's show with a weird puppetry thing in it.
Also, sorry to come off Bodger and Badger for a second, but we have got to shout something out here. In this episode was the first time we used the term pramble.
Ooh, is it? I didn't catch that.
Drum. It's drum, because Colin goes something about this being a preamble, and then drum goes a pramble, if you will. And all of us in that second beat afterwards clicked it into our brains and have used it forevermore.
Well, Drum's not here to say what he thinks about that. Maybe we should phone him. Should we phone him? Should we see if we can get him on there? I'll see if I can get him on there.
But
why not?
Also, I didn't realise. See if you can. But I also didn't realise when we start doing the bill and the casualty, the thing, because of the spin-off from the music bits that we start doing. Someone stuck in a cop thing or referenced it as the cop, and I only realised like a year on that's a genius move, because we were referencing the bill and then someone put in a cop reference immediately afterwards. I was like, oh, well done you guys. I don't know whoever did that. That was clever.
Drum, how you doing, man? Are you all right?
Yeah, what's up?
Drum, we're just recording Danger Recall, and we were talking about, you came up with the word pramble, and we just thought maybe you wanted to share your thoughts on that.
Oh, what? I came up with the word preamble.
Yeah.
Did I? Fucking hell. My memory is shut to hell. What are you recording now?
We're literally recording right now. You're live with Dan, Scott, and Ross. I just thought I'd call you because I thought it'd be fun.
Hey, Drum. You can't hear us.
That could be dangerous, man. That could be very dangerous. But then I guess it is Dangerous Wednesdays, so anything goes, right?
Yeah, it's Wednesday when we're recording.
Totally different show, but yeah.
So, all right. Do I want to comment on the fact that I came up with the word preamble?
I tell you what, actually,
considering I didn't remember it, I'm not sure if there's an awful lot I can add to this conversation.
Actually, I'll tell you what, Drum, we probably haven't got you for long because I know that you're busy, bruv. But while you're on the call, we're doing the episode where we sort of preempt your Disney princess backstory for Shania, because we're just at the moment we are literally talking about, we've just gone into the Half-Light path. And we're going up to Care Margot. So you've had your chat with Ica and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Do you want to tell us about your little chat with Ica? How did you find that? Really quickly.
Yeah, I mean that was the first time I tried to bring any of that stuff out. It was quite tough actually. It's because like obviously as a character, it's something that she finds hard to talk about, but she wanted to share it. But as a sort of from a sort of, I don't know, not performance side, but like playing side or whatever it is, it was like I probably found the words hard to get out and felt like I wasn't getting my point across very well, which is, I suppose, quite possibly how it would actually feel. So I mean it was pretty it was pretty real. But then there was also another part of me going like, am I just does this seem fake that I'm sort of telling you about this awful thing that happened to you? You know what I mean? There's like there's a lot of doubt going on during that moment. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't really until I heard it back that I came away from it going, oh god, I think that was awful. But then when I heard it back, it sort of I think it sounded about right. But well, I mean, yeah, that's like a blast from the past, man.
Yeah, man.
Smack me in the face for that.
Drum, yeah. Listen, we've got to carry on, but listen, it was great to have you on the line. Thank you so much for joining us. I know I put you on the spot there, but yeah, I'll let you know because you can't hear the boys because I'm on headphones. But they all said that honestly, it was a really amazing piece of improvisation. So well done, man, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, cheers, guys. See you later.
Bye,
see you, Drum. Have a good one.
Bye. Can't hear us. Bye.
Definitely was asleep.
That was I know. I woke him up. I'm gonna have to text him and apologise in a little while because
By the way, Colin and anybody, love you guys. Never do that to me. If A, I will not pick up. B, if I find out what it is, I will yeet my phone down the street as quickly as possible. If that's ever done. Oh, mate,
that was a first on Danger Recall. I think I'll warn Drum next time before I call him. But it was great.
It sounded well. I think he dealt with it quite well. I think that was quite cool.
Yeah, he seems to really enjoy it. It was really nice. I'll message him afterwards and just say, it was really good.
That was funny.
That was nice, isn't it? That was fun.
Yeah. It was nice. Also, Colin, speaking of things you really went in on and committed to, you really went in on the sound effects on this epised.
Yeah.
Man. There's loads and they sound great. There's like every other thing that happens is like Colin's putting a thing to illuminate it and make it sound like to the point where I'm like going, oh yeah, there's sound. Oh wait, what did Dan say? Kind of listening back to it.
I was really glad that we kind of got the extra sound effects on because it's quite a weird sequence to run in a role-playing game because it's kind of, this whole thing is about putting over the tunnels, putting over there. These are a scary place. There are scary things down there. There's these alchemical zombies. Because I know that you're coming back there later on. I know you're going to the Godsmith Ossuary. So you've got to get across kind of that there's the stuff, but you don't really want to encounter much of it yet. So it's essentially a whole sequence of the players not doing very much. It's really a sequence of nothing, of me just describing scary things while you guys be quiet, which is a weird way to run a role-playing game because a role-playing game is kind of everyone giving back and forth on it, and it's one that kind of requires me to just talk at quite a lot. So it's kind of it takes a little bit of patience to kind of get that all across gradually from both sides. But then it's really nice when you get it back and you've got the sound effects added into it because that gives it that whole extra dimension and it makes it feel much more of a round thing.
I'd spent ages trying to find that breathing, the right sort of breathing to have behind the behind the walls, and the scratching and things like that. It really took me a while to find those. But once, I think it's really nice. I'm really proud of it actually, and it's really good. And as you say, Dan, there is a lot of like kind of narration and not much happening. So it's nice to have those little things just to remind you, the listener, that something's going on. The rocks falling, and I love these slippers that you give Ica and Travis to try and make them quieter.
I know, yeah, it's quite fun, isn't it? Playing quite a macho guy and doing macho things and like, oh, grr. And then every now and then you do something which, here you go, here's some nice little slippers. There you go.
Yeah, I just had these, yeah,
I just had these. Don't look at me. Shut up. Yeah, it's quite nice. We also do a Boosh reference as well. Here, we also do a "You've Never Been to the Crunch," which is like a little mocking on Chappie, saying, you've never been to the dark side, etc., whatever. If you haven't seen that episode, I think it's one of the fan favourites of Boosh's Booshdom. That one with the flying carpet and the tiny bollock head on it. Which is a great little episode. It's Richard Iowati, isn't it? Doing that?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Now, not only have we gone a different way up the path than we wanted to go, but now we have to go on a different path that we want to go within the path. Dan, you make us go through the catacombs. Jeez.
To see a little bit because we're getting a lot into material from a book called City of Strangers by James L. Sutter now, which is the source book for Caermarga, and it's I think my favourite like lore book from any role playing game. It's incredibly well written. There's so much stuff in it, and every inch of Kalmaga is full of character. And the catacombs are part of that, and there's a lot of this. There was this description of the Half-Light Path as this. It's a passageway, but it has to be constantly maintained, and they have to brick up all of these tunnels that go off to just places that no one knows who built them and what lives down there. And I just like this idea of like, okay, you're going to get a little taster of that. You're going to go and just see a little bit of this side thing and have to do this little side mission just so we've got a sense of like, just so we have that moment later on when it's like, when you get hired to go down into the Godsmith ossuary, and there's that time where there's genuine worry from, I think, Velda and things about how dangerous it's going to be down there because we've foreshadowed it here.
Well, I love this. The creature comes out and throws Chappie down we have to fight it and throws Chappie down into the pit, and then Caragor goes to go down there and says, "Oh, Velda, why don't you come with me?" And then M says, "Oh, shit, how does Featherfall work? If I push him, will he just float?" And then Fulton just does it.
Yeah, there's this bit, we got tweeted about this bit a while back, I believe from Rick Shaw, I think, who said something, he just said it was funny, like the bit where we're like, a situation has arisen, we are adventurers, let us go adventure, and Velda goes, should we though?
Yeah.
and it's like, why wouldn't you do this? People need help, we need to do a thing. But yeah, there is that bit, I didn't know how much, like, Ross, you get away with something quite cheeky here, don't you? Hey, cheeky, mate. Hey, cheeky. Because
I pushed.
No. It's not even that. It's not even that. Because you could justify that as a roleplay character thing in character. It's the bit where you, as Ross, say to Dan the DM, "How does Featherfall work?" Dan the DM explains to Ross the person how Featherfall works, and then Fulton the character uses that knowledge, he wouldn't know, to yeet Velda off that platform down the hole, which is funny for about a good 40 seconds before we nearly die. But yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, Ross. Oh yeah, a little bit of metagaming there. Tiny bit of metagaming on Ross.
Definitely. All this was created from Fulton just pushing James's character. I'm surprised he didn't get really angry at me for that.
Oh, he
was.
He was. I remember furious. In the session. Yeah,
in and out of character, he was so mad about that. He doesn't like falling. The setup for this was an interesting, because I know that like Caragor absolutely preempts or telegraphs what is going to happen. When at the start, when Chappie is like, "I'm horrible. Also, I've got this amulet that if we get lost, you're going to have to activate, and that's how you get out." So you're like, "Well, he's definitely going to get killed, and we'll have to get the amulet back." And it's kind of like, it was just that, and it's not actually how the amulet works in rules as written. But I knew I wanted to have this sequence where you'd have to go down into a dark pit and see some scary stuff, and we knew that Chappie has to get his comeuppance by the time you come out of this tunnel to be narratively satisfying. So it was one of these cases of kind of sacrificing setup in order to have payoff. It's like sometimes it's like, we just want to get to this bit. This is the fun bit. So it doesn't necessarily matter if this bit is maybe a little bit clumsy or a little, if the setup is a little bit obvious, it's fine because the bit we get to do at the end is going to be fun. It's just about getting to where we want to be.
Yeah.
Well, this image of the zombies coming out, of the caves, and Velda trying to scramble up the rope and then falling down again, and then Caragor standing in front, all like, "Oh, come on, you got to start pulling," which is the plan, by the way. I just want to note that for next episode, the plan is to pull you up. All right.
Yeah.
This is important. So
yeah. Next episode. Yeah, actually thinking forward, it's again one of those things that when you're in the moment as a player, you're freaking out.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, indeed, as a player, you're like, oh yeah, this is great fun and great tension. But at the time, like I can just remember my characters being like, we're going to die down here because three people aren't doing a rope. Is that how this is going to happen?
There's a whole new rift coming in the Danger Club next episode.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I love it. Do you want a little behind the curtain thing of something you won't know? That's on it. The creature.
All right, let's have a sting first. Ross, can you come up with a sting for behind the curtain?
Okay. Oh, is that behind your curtain? Let's have a look.
Why'd you have to make it so weird?
Oh.
Why does it have to be a creepy curtain?
Oh, I liked it. All right, Dad. Go on.
Let me invite you behind my curtain. So the creature that bursts out of the wall and attack you has a stat block. I know it only sticks around for one round and then disappears. It is called a Dust Digger, which is a really nice low-level worm character, like a Sarlacc kind of character. They're good monsters in role-playing games. There aren't a lot of them at low level. It's quite a nice kind of level 4 or something like that monster that you can throw out. But the interesting thing is, you could have fought that creature later on. It is in the Godsmith Ossuary, and you just never went that way. There is a section of it where that creature comes back, and you could have fought it and killed it later on. But that's just one of the many things that could have been in this show. And now I return you to outside of my curtain.
Interesting. That thing does. We do manage to inflict a critical wound on it as well. We get a bicep wound on it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I just the note I wanted to make was that I quite like bicep. You know, it's a banger, that one. I really like it.
Yeah, it's up there with Voodoo Child.
Yeah, it's better than Voodoo Child. But it has a burrow speed as well, I believe, Dan. Yes, and Drum, bless him, didn't know that he cast this thing, and it doesn't work if the monster or creature has a burrow speed. And Drum's like, I didn't know it had a burrow speed. After it had burrowed through a wall to get to us and lives underground, so presumably has. It's just one of those moments listening back. You don't quite clock it at the time. You're listening back, you're like, oh yeah, that's quite obvious.
Well, I love the fact that Shania goes, I'm not going to pull the rope, I'm just going to stand over here. Philippe, go and pull the rope.
To be fair to Shania, because Caragor was real in character. Caragor was miffed with Shania about this.
Yeah.
But to be in retrospect, to be fair to Shania, I'm listening back to it and I'm going, you would go and try and, like, in real life, there would be a level of comfort that you would try and give to the person. Like, and she's made a choice there. And now Shania, if this had been when we just met or we would just become friends, fair play. But Shania does kind of know us now. And she's like, listen, if there's 3 or 4 of my team on that problem there, they're probably not going to die. I don't know for sure. And I am testing the boundaries of our friendship here, but I got faith in it. Whether Drum was playing it like that, up to him. He obviously had the big maternal thing going on, which is important.
Ring him up and ask him. Ring him up.
Bring him again. Yeah. Let him sleep, for goodness me. Yeah, he's just trying to sleep while he's...
Also, something else I really want to get in was James, when we're rolling for stealth, before the Sarlacc thing hits us, and before Chappie gets offed, we're rolling for stealth, and I think finally, because it's statistics, isn't it? If the players are going to fail something, it's just a sequence of the more you roll, the more likely it is that you will fail at it. So when it sort of inevitably happens, James goes, oh guys, as if we'd tried, as if we'd gone out of our way, as if we'd all attempted to try. And that brings up a funny thing I want to talk about in TTRPGs in general. When people roll high, someone goes, oh, well done, mate.
Yeah,
I didn't do any. I rolled a piece of plastic and it came up with a slightly favourable. Like, reward me for the roleplay choices I make and the character things that I do, the things that I can actually control. But it's a weird instinct we all have, isn't it? Like, you roll low and people go, you dickhead, why would you do this to us? Why do you hate us so much? I didn't do anything.
I just rolled the plastic.
Yeah, it's weird that we do that. It's like dice suspicions.
There's a really interesting, there's a really nice ability in 2nd edition, which I think Kevan had, and we never quite got the rules for it right. Where you can, it's like stealth synergy, where you make one stealth roll for the whole group rather than everyone rolling stealth. And the rule is you make it at the lowest bonus of everyone rather than at the highest bonus. And off the top of it, you're like, well, that's pointless. Why would we all be making a stealth check with the worst bonus rather than the highest one? And it's because in a situation like that, it doesn't matter how many times you succeed. You only need to fail once. So mathematically, it's better to only roll once because you only have one chance to mess it up. Whereas if you roll 5 times, even with higher bonuses, you've got 5 chances to get it wrong. And I was like, that's one of the things that's really interesting of how the maths work in these games. Of like, sometimes it's best not to roll. If there's no victory condition, but there's only a lose condition, you need to find a way not to roll the dice.
Right. Well, that's it. We end the game there, just kind of flapping about, trying to sort things out, and we sing All You Need Is Zombies to the tune of All You Need Is Love.
Ba-ba-da-da-da.
Yay! Nice one, Dan. Thank you very much for that. So I tell you what, we're going to end it there. So thank you so much for joining us, Dangerlings, on our recall of 29, the episode 29. We've enjoyed it. We hope you'd enjoyed it. Thank you very much to my guests, Drum. Oh, thanks, mate. He's not on the phone. Yeah, cheers, mate. I'm gonna
replay the bit where he says goodbye in the voice call.
Yeah,
So-
I could do, couldn't I, Ross? Yeah, there'll be more editing. Thank you very much to my guest, Ross.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Scott.
I both move forward and backwards in this never-ending spiral of darkness.
And thank you very much, Dan.
See you later, you bunch of knaves. Have a lovely week.
This has been Danger Recall. We love you. Get on the Discord, Facebook. Tell us what's going on. See you soon. Bye.